What did you do before you became a scientist?
Before I became a scientist, I was involved in politics and was even the Lord Chancellor and Attorney General for a time. For most of my career, I followed my father's footsteps and I was regarded as an excellent lawyer. I amassed a good reputation and became the holder of one of the highest political offices in all of England. Then, in 1621, I was accused of accepting bribes and was removed from office. It was after this forced retirement of sorts I began to focus on science and natural philosophy. I even started developing my own scientific method. However, I never became an actual scientist in the traditional sense of the word. I was never one to actually carry out many experiments. This particular area of study just isn't my expertise. I instead used existing ideas as well as my own, mixed with a fair amount of logic to arrive at the method to better allow scientific analysis of phenomena.
How do you think people should go about studying the universe?
People studying science need to stop being concerned with what follows scripture and what they actually observe in the world around us. They need to follow my experimental method of science and follow the path of evidence and proof, not so-called logic. In the modern world, only experimentation and careful observation will suffice. With this method of careful experimentation and observation rather than pastoral folly, man will finally be able to divulge the great mysteries of the universe.
How did you come up with this method?
This method of learning is the only logical one. Without specific evidence and careful observation, how can any scientific or philosophical theory be proven? Men tend to base their belief first on scripture and second on science. I developed this method in my 1605 book, The Advancement of Learning, where I described the method in detail. After being ousted from the political world, I focused on science and the scientific method and eventually came up with this experimental idea for science to follow.
Why is this method better?
This method supplies accountability in research. No longer can so-called scientists make wild claims without evidence to back it up, and without the proper research, no evidence can be found. Furthermore, if detailed enough observations and methods are not recorded, other scientists will not be able to replicate the experiment and will therefore be able to disprove it. It will separate witchcraft and folklore from hard science.
How do you think this will affect society and its beliefs?
This new experimental method will further mankind's scientific endeavors greatly. With actual tangible evidence from close observations, man will finally be able to unravel the universe's great mysteries. Unfortunately, for much of our history, the Church has played a significant role in determining what is scientific and what is not. Science has been discouraged and even been punished to the point of killing people who make claims that disagree with the Bible. Hopefully, this new scientific method will allow scientists of all sorts to make irrefutable claims that further our understanding of the world around us and finally separate scripture and folktales from hard scientific evidence.